What's going on, everybody? It's Cody. Welcome back to the channel. 3-game WNBA slate Friday night. $20,000 to first. Great contest. I actually really like this slate. Atlanta Dallas should be a good game. Both of them are not playing very well, and neither of them play defense, so great for DFS. Obviously, aces anytime they're on the slate. Big game for DFS purposes. Chicago and Seattle should be a good game. Let's look back at my lineup for tonight. Games just tipped. Burton, obviously massive chalk with Ty Harris out and her inserted into the starting lineup. Pretty much a must play for me. I did play Fee. She's massive chalk, to nobody's surprise. I mentioned how high I was on Alana Smith. She come in at 24%. Just a bit under what Bree Jones come in at for, I think, $100 more. So I hope the leverage spot there works out for me. Then for the late game, currently have Hayes, Asia, and Misha Hines-Allen. Obviously hoping Dolson is out, but I think you can play MHA even if Dolson plays. Obviously she would look a lot better if Dolson is out, but we'll see how that goes. Let's look at the odds for these games, and we'll look at some underdog stuff, and then we'll go team by team, break it down. They only have these two games posted so far. They don't have the Aces and the Sparks spread out yet because the Aces are playing right now, but it will be a very wide spread. Dream at the Wings, 1.5 point spread, over under 165.5. Sky at the Storm, 9.5 point spread, over under 161. Let's take a peek over here at Underdog. I don't have my rankings done yet. I just got finished live streaming before slate lock, so but there is a couple things just going through like a quick glance at what they have. I love when it's 3 games or more and they have these ADPs. There is massive leverage and a huge edge to get on these. When you look, they have Alicia Gray projected for 37 fantasy points. I love Alicia Gray as much as anybody. She's not getting 37 fantasy points unless she just balls out. So I think that's really wide. I think 7 ADP is way too high on her. As we go down here, I think Natasha Howard's projection's low. Her minutes tick back up. In a close game, she's going to play like 32 to 34 minutes. Obviously, she absolutely nuked here. Fantastic matchup, so I think she's projected low. Stephanie Talbot at 15 ADP. I mean, she's been good of late, but there's no possible way I'm taking her ahead of some of these people right here. You got Mabry. Her projection is 35.5. That seems high. She only saw 19 minutes. She really struggled. They can limit her, so keep an eye on that. Big T, God knows what she's going to do. She was awful. They benched her. She played 0 minutes in the second half, so super high risk, high reward there. Then you scroll all the way down here. A lot of these I kind of agree with. If you want my full rankings, I'll post them in the Discord later on tonight or in the morning when I start churning out a bunch of these drafts. We do have news. Jordan Canada is out. We're going to talk about that DFS-wise here in a bit. But scrolling all the way down here, these players are not even being drafted. I just wanted to mention a couple as 6th-round targets. Kalani Brown played 22 minutes purely because Big T was benched. I don't mind taking shots on her in the 6th round. And then Dana Evans. She's been bad, but this last game she played 22 minutes. Big step up. Obviously risks here, but she's virtually free, so I don't mind having a couple shots on Dana Evans. Her projection is very off if she's going to play mid-teens to low 20s minutes. But that's going to do it for Underdog. Let's get back over here to what everyone is here for. Atlanta-Dallas, first game of the night. On the Atlanta side, Tina Charles, she's just been balling. She's been super consistent of late. I mean, 40, 31, 35, 31, 33, 34, 49 over the last stretch of 7 games. Playing solid minutes, playing low 30s minutes. Would expect that to continue. 10.3K is a solid price. she should eat up Big T and Kalani Brown, whoever's starting at the 5 for Dallas. Ron Howard is still out. I hate that. Alicia Gray, 8,600. Don't mind the price here compared to Underdog at her relative ADP over there. But it's all about her scoring. If she's going to score and be aggressive on offense, I have some interest. The peripherals have been really up and down, so she's a tournament play, and that's about it. Jordan Canada is out. I hate that for her. She was playing really well. Cheyenne Parker is seeing an uptick in minutes and playing pretty well. The price is okay. I don't see her 4X in that price, but she's a good value play at 6,500 if the minutes are going to be there. Like if she's going to continue to play 20 plus minutes, I don't mind that. And I think she is going to be needed just like she was last game. I think she's absolutely going to be needed here. They needed her to guard Angel Reese. They're going to need her to guard Natasha Howard. Natasha Howard will absolutely bully ball Nia Coffey. Haley Jones, 6,400. Minutes tick back up. Would expect her to play back into these low 30s minutes with Jordan Canada out. Nia Coffey, pretty hard to recommend at 6K. She's going to play right around 20-ish minutes. Not a good fantasy point per minute player. Obviously can get there if she's shooting well. It's not someone that I ever really trust. Naz Hillman, 5K. Minutes a tick back down. I mean, she's going to play low to mid-teens minutes. Not the best fantasy point per minute player, but she can pop. Like she'll have a good game, bad game, good game, bad game. She's fine as a last player in. Maya Caldwell will see extended run at 4,200. Obviously busted really hard for us last time out. Only saw 12 minutes. Would expect her to play high teens minutes with Jordan Canada out with the potential to play a little bit more if she's playing well. On the Dallas side, obviously Enrique at the top looks absolutely fantastic. She played the entire game against Phoenix. She's going to play at least 38 minutes with the potential to play 39 or the whole game. Obviously, insane offensive usage. The peripheral stats have been solid of late. One of the best plays on the slate. Natasha Howard right behind her, 10.7K. She will be limited a little bit if the game blows out. I'm not expecting that here. Atlanta is not going to blow anyone out. So I would expect Natasha Howard to play 32 to 34 minutes. She has a huge ceiling, great fantasy point per minute player. Price has went way up though. We'll keep her ownership down for sure. Big T mentioned her, did not play 1 minute in the second half. Absolutely like a pure tournament dart. If you catch her when she's on and playing well, she can win you a tournament or she can absolutely kill you. There is no in between with Big T. Mo Billings at 6,800 only saw 8 minutes. I'm not playing her at 6,800. Just coming off the bench, you just never know how many minutes she's going to get. Odyssey Sims, 6,600. I have a lot of interest in. She started the past two, played 30 and 38 minutes. Like the minutes are everything in this price range. I love Odyssey Sims at 6,600. She's going to be one of the best point per dollar plays on the slate, I can already tell you. Uzan outplayed Sheldon, played 18 minutes, 18 fantasy points. Not expecting her to be a full fantasy point per minute player going forward, but fine value at 5,500. They just kind of beat each other up and take each other's minutes, and it's really hard to recommend either of them. Sheldon played 24 minutes, only 5 fantasy points. She has just been abysmal of late. Really can't recommend her. Mentioned Kalani Brown on the Underdog side. I do have some interest here. There is a chance that they start her over Big T. They've done it already this season. It backfired on everyone that played Kalani that night because she picked up 2 immediate fouls and Big T come in and absolutely smashed. So there's always a risk with Kalani starting, but it would not shock me if they try and switch things up. I have zero interest in Lou Lopez and Suarez. Second game of the night, Aces at the Sparks on the Aces side. This is the second leg of a back-to-back, so we could see someone like Chelsea Gray sit here. I'm not really expecting it, but this is also the third game of 4 games in this 1 week. So they may take a chance here and sit Gray. I mean, they should be able to win without her. Asia Wilson, 13,000. If you have the salary player, she should absolutely feast here. Jackie Young, Kelsey Plum, great matchups. If Chelsea Gray's out, would love the price tag on both of them in arguably the best matchup in the WNBA. Would like Gray if she plays. Would be a little bit worried about her minutes, and especially if this game was to blow out, they would definitely limit her. Kia Stokes, 6,300 is a fine play. Just no offensive upside, but she can still get you there with the peripheral stats. Tiffany Hayes, 5,300, would like her. Would assume she would start if Gray was out, so it would make her one of the best plays on the slate if Gray was to miss. Alicia Clark, 5,200, would only consider her if Gray's out. If Gray's in, I'm not playing really anyone down here. Just not enough minutes to go around. Clark's the only one that gets consistent minutes of this group, and she's just not a very good fantasy point per minute player. On the Spark side, Wnba at the top, 10.9K. I have quite a bit of interest in. She's been solid in the past 3 games. After going through a really rough patch, she's back to her normal ways. She looks great, doing everything, back to playing big minutes. Would expect her to play 37 or 38 minutes here. Do need to keep an eye on Azura Stevens. She did say that she's back to full contact practice and plans to make her season debut before the Olympic break. I don't know if it's going to be here. It may be Sunday or later on next week, but if she plays, she'll definitely be limited. She won't see full run, and at 8,300, you really can't play her. But would be another option on Underdog. Ari McDonald, 8K. Played practically the entire game. Had a good game. She's fine at 8K. It's a pace-up spot. It's a good matchup. Don't mind her. Talbot at 7,800. She saw 30 minutes. Went crazy. Got all the peripheral stats. Always mention with Talbot, she's not the best scorer, but the games that she's going to pop is when she scores the ball well. She shot 4 or 6 from 3. She's averages 3.5 points per game. Here's these last few games. She's been shooting the ball well. 7,800 is pretty steep for her, though. Rakia Jackson, 7,400, score-independent player. Really hard to trust. 9 peripheral stats and then 8 the game before that. I don't think that's sustainable when she's had 1, 2 the games before that. She's a fine play for tournaments, but not someone I'm going out of my way to play. Lee Yuru just not getting enough minutes. I mean, she's back down to this like low teens, and at that price point, they're just not going to give her enough minutes to make her playable, in my opinion. Kia Nurse at 5,400 is going to play low 20s minutes. Extremely score independent, not someone that I have a lot of interest in, especially if like Chelsea Gray's out. It opens up like Tiffany Hayes. You already have like Odyssey Sims. There's already plenty of cheaper mid-range value plays that I just would not play any of these cheap Sparks guards like Ray Burrell. She saw 15 minutes, didn't do much with it. They all take away from each other. Zia Cook only got 6 minutes. Clarendon played 9 minutes. None of those are players that I'm considering just because they're all going to take minutes away from each other. And they signed Crystal Dangerfield to muddy it up even more. So just really hard to recommend any of those guards, cheap guards for the Sparks. Last game of the night, Chicago at Seattle. On the Chicago side, Angel Reese, 10.6K. Not the best matchup, but, I mean, she can absolutely get there. Against Seattle earlier this year, 34.5 fantasy points. I'm buying in to the Angel Reese hype. She's played extremely well. Obviously, would love to see this field goal percentage take a step up. Get this 667. If she can shoot 66% from the field, she can have these 50 fantasy point games. I think there's upside at 10.6K, so I will definitely have some interest in Reese. Carter all the way up to 8,800. Minutes tick back down to 29. She did have a little bit of foul trouble, but if she's going to play low 30s minutes, she can easily convert this price and pay that off. I always have interest in Kennedy Carter. Mabry, mentioned her on the Underdog side, only played 19 minutes. Not ideal. She struggled mightily, and they benched her for a large portion of the game. Typically, she's going to play low 30s minutes, so I think it's an outlier, but definitely something to monitor. If it happens again, she would become really dicey to play. Love the price on Camila Cardoso, 7,700. She hasn't been great the past 3 games. She shot the ball very poorly the past 2, but I like the upside that she brings. Lindsey Allen, really tough to recommend. She's coming back down to earth after these 2 really good games. This is more of the Lindsey Allen that I expect. She's not going to go out and shoot 5 of 10. She's not going to shoot the ball very much at all normally. So tough to recommend her at that price point. Dana Evans, 5,100. She's fine if you think she's going to get decent minutes. She's a pretty good fantasy point per minute player. She can get there. She can shoot the 3 ball. Don't mind her, but don't go out of your way to play her. Like, it would not shock me if she plays low teens minutes and doesn't get there. Izzy Harrison going to play low teens minutes. Good fantasy point per minute player. If she gets the minutes, would get extended if Cardosa or Reese was to get in foul trouble. Diamond DeShields, Bree Turner, Oni Inward have zero interest in any of them on a slate like this, on a bigger slate. On the Seattle side, lot to like here. Like all the starters. Lloyd at the top, 10K. Obviously, solid play. Only played 25 minutes and put up 40 fantasy points. She's been out of her mind shooting the ball lately. You can shoot the ball on Chicago, so don't mind Lloyd at 10K. NECA and Ezzy, both sub 10K, have interest in both of them. Their prices are ticking down because they absolutely dog walk Dallas in back-to-back games. So definite interest in both of them at their lower prices. Skylar Diggins-Smith, 8,400. Love that price tag on her. I think there's merit to play in her. Jordan Horston, 7,600. Love the price tag on her. They just run such a tight rotation. In a close game, all these girls are going to play low to mid 30s minutes, and they're just all good plays and all soak a lot of usage up, especially when they rotate like Whitcomb in. She's really the only bench play that I would consider. Everyone else I don't have very much interest in. But that's going to do it for me, guys. If you have any questions, hit me up in the Discord. As always, leave a like on the video. It really helps out the channel grow. Good luck, and we'll see you for the next one.